All right, this section, it says we have to graph, and in order to graph, we need to find our center point and our radius. So for the first question, our center is at 0, 0. Our radius is going to be the square root of 49, which is 7. So this graph's pretty small. All right, in order to get it to fit on this graph, I'm going to count by, well, I kind of just messed it up. I'm going to count by 3s. Nope, 2s. 1, 2, nope, 3s. 3, 6, 9. And we're going to go this way. This is negative 9, positive 9, negative 9. And if I want my radius to be 7, I would count out 7 in all of the directions. So I'm going a little bit higher than the 6, and I'm just going to do my best job at estimating. Now, the honors classes needed to do domain and range. Domain is your x values, so it's how far over to the left and how far over to the right does our graph go. It goes from negative 7 to positive 7. And our range goes from negative 7 to positive 7. So our range is when we use a y. Okay, regular classes, we didn't talk about domain and range. You can do that part if you want. It's not very hard. We just didn't get a chance to get to that. All right, number 12. Our center point is going to be at negative 5, positive 3. Our radius is going to be 3 because we take the square root of 9. So thinking about where this would be on my graph, I'd have to go over 5 and down and up 3. So I'm going to make my x and y axis like this so that I have a chance to go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 3. And I'm going to run off my graph a little bit. I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 3. I could have counted by 2s. Okay, it's mostly just to help you get a sketch of what it looks like, right? So we can see what it is. Our domain, if this center point was negative 5 and I went over 3 more to get here, I'm at negative 8. If this center point was at negative 5 and I went over 3, that's at negative 2. For my range, I started at 3 and I went down 3 spots, so that's at 0. And then I started at 3 and I went up 3, so that's at 6. Number 13, we're going to have to complete the square. So number 13, I'm going to say x squared. Oops, I messed that up. There's not a lot of space here. Let's see, x squared minus at 6x. I'm going to leave room for something to add. Plus y squared equals 7 plus something. Okay. What am I going to add? I'm going to add half of this term squared. So half of negative 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Then I'm going to rewrite as a perfect square. So when I rewrite, it's half of this goes in the parentheses. So half of negative 6 is negative 3. I don't have to complete the square for the y part because there's only one piece there. It's just y squared. And then on this side, I have 16. So this tells me that my center is at 3, 0 because there's nothing being added or subtracted from the y. And my radius would be 4. So I want to think about what this means. From my origin, I have to go over 3, and I'm going to have to go out every direction 4. So I'm going to graph this like this. It's not going to fit perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and count by, I'm going to still count by 1s. Okay, my center is at 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4 is up here. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 1 space off the graph there, and 1 space off the graph here. So we're going around like that. My domain for the honors classes is going to be from negative 1 to 7. my range is going to be from -4 to +4. Okay. Number 14, we have to complete the square. There's only an x squared, so I'm not going to have to complete the square for the x part. I'm only going to have to complete the square for the y. For the y, I'm going to take half of 4, which is 2. 2 squared is 4. Okay, and I have to add that 4 on the other side also. When I write this, I have x squared. When I fill in my parentheses, remember I take half of this term. Half of this is +2, so +2. On this side, I have 36. So this tells me that my center is at 0, -2, and my radius is 6. So 0, -2 means I go from the origin down 2. So from the origin, I'm going to count by 2's on this one. From the origin down 2, and my radius is 6. So if I'm counting by 2's, I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. And I can draw my circle. For my domain, all the way over here, since I'm counting by 2's, is going to be -6 and then +6. My range, I'm counting by 2's, so I went down. Remember, this is -2, -4, -6, -8. And I went up to +4. All right, last problem. We're going to have to complete the square for both variables on this one. It's going to be kind of scrunched in. We don't have a lot of space. So I'm going to go ahead and move this 16 over the other side by subtracting 16. Okay, so it's going to be a -16. Kind of combining some steps together here, just because I don't have a lot of space to write in. All right, so I've got -16. I'm going to have to add 2 things to that side. I'm going to take half of this. Half of this is -4. And then square it. That's 16. And then I'm going to take half of this. Half of this is -1. -1 squared is +1. So now when I write my parentheses, it's going to be an x, and half of this was -4, so it's -4. Over here, half of -2 was -1, so it's y -1. And when I combine all my like terms here, the 16's cancel out, and I just have 1 on this side. So my center is 4, 1. My radius is 1, because the square root of 1 is 1. So 4, 1, if I think about where that would be on my graph, I have to go over to 4. And I'm just going out. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. 4, 1. It should be here. And I go out 1 in every direction. So just this little circle like this. That was not great. To do my domain, it's going to be from 3 to 5. And then for my range, it's going to be from 0 to 2. Right, and that's the end of that section.